Hi, I'm Troy Korsgaden, owner of the Korsgaden Jansma Insurance Agency. I've been a multi-line insurance agent for the last 29 years. I have spent many of those years perfecting agency growth systems that have helped our agency achieve top insurance industry awards for the last 20 years consecutively. In this video, I'll be introducing one of those programs, a program that will help agencies of any size achieve almost immediate growth. A large part of our success is due to transforming our agency into a specialist agency. As a specialist agency, we are able to focus more specifically on each of our clients' individual needs. By doing this, we are achieving more of our customers' insurance and financial needs than ever before. In other words, we're multi-lining. Now, in order to convert your agency into a specialized agency, you will need to invest in additional staff. I'm sure you're wondering, where will that additional revenue come from so I can pay for this staff? That is what this program is all about. My agency's primary source of revenue comes from implementing and adhering to a very specific life insurance sales and retention program. My agency has been reaping the rewards of this system since 2003, and I even referred to it in my 2005 book, Profit from Change. Since the book came out, I've received an overwhelming number of agent requests for details on how to implement it. I spent the last 7 years adapting the system so it would work for agencies of all sizes. Today, that program is complete and is being offered so that you can jumpstart your agency's growth immediately. The program you're about to see revolves around creating a position called the Agency Concierge. The position's sole responsibility is in contacting clients. The program then focuses on how to convert each call into an appointment and each appointment into a sale. I have spent the last few years adapting the life insurance selling and retention program to be turnkey, adaptable to any agency regardless of size or tenure. The Life Selling and Retention Program includes all the tools your agency will need. You will be able to quickly implement a proven method for increasing both life insurance sales and retention. At the core of the Life Insurance Selling and Retention Program is the Concierge Program. Through this system, a concierge is created, and that position's sole responsibility is to contact clients every day to do two things. One, to ensure their satisfaction with the agency, and number two, to set a life insurance discussion appointment. The concierge can either be designated internally, hired externally, or outsourced. When we first started the program, we hired someone to fill this position. Today, we find it more cost-effective to outsource this position. Whether or not you do it internally or externally, or you outsource it, the most important thing is that you create the position and that you proactively work the position every single day. The second step in the program is training the concierge. This is quite simple to do, regardless of whether you hire in-house or you outsource. The reason it's so easy is that everything the concierge says to a client is scripted. This program contains all the scripts your agency will need in order to have the concierge asking the right questions. These questions are designed to help improve retention and to help the concierge set a life insurance appointment. Step 3 of the Life Insurance Selling and Retention Program focuses on converting the call to the client into an appointment to discuss life insurance. The program contains more than 10 pages worth of scripts, so you will use these to get from client call to appointment, and from appointment to a sale. The Life Insurance Selling and Retention Program begins with the concierge script, which is used on the first phone call to the client. The script reads as follows. Hi, Mr. Smith. This is Jim calling for the Troy Korsgaden Insurance Agency. How are you doing today? The reason I'm calling is because you were in recent contact with our office and we helped you with the car change. We want to make sure that you were satisfied with the service we provided. Do you have any questions, or is there something additional you would like us to follow up on? If the client is completely satisfied, the script goes on as follows. I will let Troy know that we've taken care of your account, and as always, we do value your trust in our agency. Also, while I have you on the phone, this would be a great time to set up an appointment to review your current life insurance program and make sure your current coverage is up to date and adequate to meet your family's life insurance needs. An appointment can be done in person or over the phone, and it will only take about 15 to 20 minutes. Would mornings or afternoons work best for you and your schedule? At this point, the concierge sets the appointment. Okay, great. I have you scheduled for Monday the 18th of February at 2 p.m. Please go ahead and mark your calendar. Would this be the best number to reach you, 555-5555? Also, if you have any policies that aren't with our agency, you might want to make those available because Troy would be happy to review those for you to ensure you're receiving the best coverages and value. If you have any further questions, please feel free to give us a call. We look forward to meeting with you. This concludes the concierge script for a satisfied client. If for any reason the client is not satisfied, the concierge will use the following script. I'm sorry to hear that you were not completely satisfied. I will let Troy know immediately about your concerns. Troy will call you personally within 24 hours. Remember, the objective of this phone call is to thank the customer for allowing the agency to, number one, be of service. Number two, to make sure they are satisfied with the service provided. And number three, offer them the opportunity for a personal visit so that you can discuss the family's life insurance needs. Now that the appointment is set, it's time to meet or to talk with your client. The first step when the client comes into the office is to offer the usual pleasantries, greetings, coffee, soda, etc. After this is done, use the following statement. Thank you for coming in to update your life insurance file. I want to assure you I didn't bring you in here today to try to sell you anything. Now this immediately puts the client at ease, and the client is more willing to give out important information during the interview. Remember, the one with the most information wins. Because you are not going to be selling them anything during this interview, you know you can gather information for the second appointment. Start the appointment by asking for some background questions. First ask, how much life insurance does your employer provide? The answer is usually $5,000, $10,000, or maybe even, I don't know. Whatever they tell you, write it down. Next, ask, how much coverage does your spouse currently have through your employer? The answer is usually something along the lines of, I don't know, maybe $5,000, maybe $10,000. Again, whatever they tell you, write it down. Next ask, how much insurance do you purchase from your employer other than what they provide you for free? The answer is usually none. Every once in a while, someone will have extra coverage, so write it down. The next question is, how much insurance do you own or are you currently purchasing outside of your employer? Some people will say $50,000, some may say $100,000. Let's use an example. Let's say your client says he or she has $100,000 worth of life insurance with Sam's Mutual. You need to obtain the beneficiary information. Why? Because people buy life insurance because they love someone. If you, as the agent, know who they love, you have a perfect opportunity to offer a real-life scenario when you begin your sales presentation later. Beyond this, you should also ask and write down additional information including 1, do you have any life insurance on your credit cards? Surprisingly, many people do because it's inexpensive and because they can buy it without the perceived hassle of dealing with a life insurance salesman. 2, do you have any insurance on your checking accounts? Many banks give away a free $1,000 or $2,000 worth of life benefit these days. Explain to your client that you need this information because in the event of a tragedy, you will need to help the family try to collect from every dime that's available. 3, did your folks purchase any life insurance when you were young that may be still in effect? Now ask about credit insurance. People have huge lines of credit today, and lots of times they will put credit life on this type of loan. For example, if your client tends to buy fancy cars, say, hey, you have a Mercedes. Did you buy credit life insurance to pay off that Mercedes in the event of your death? Your goal is to gather every bit of information that's available and then add it to your client's electronic file. So in the event of a tragedy years later, you and your staff will be able to assist the family. The life insurance selling and retention program includes a questionnaire which will help you be sure that you don't miss any question that might help you get the information you need. Now that you've completed the information gathering process, it's time for information giving. The model for this part of the interview is to offer the client 4 different ways to purchase life insurance initially. Begin by saying, a $100,000 life policy with Sands Mutual. Wow, $100,000, that probably wouldn't last long, would it? Now it's time to stop talking and allow the client to think. You are trying to elicit a response. Most salespeople have a tendency to talk. Yet without client engagement, they will never believe in the need for more life insurance. The client usually responds with something like, what do you mean by that? Or hey, 100,000, that isn't very much, is it? At this juncture, respond back with a statement such as, you know, the average annual salary in Denver, Colorado is around $33,000 a year. $33,000 into $100,000 is about 3 years worth of income, and 3 years wouldn't go very far, would it? Then you stop talking again. Again, you want the client to think. At this point, there is usually a major shift. For the first time, the client is not thinking about money. He or she is thinking about time. You will notice this shift because the client will usually now turn back to you and ask, how much life insurance do you think I need? When they do that, simply say, I didn't bring you in here today to try to sell you anything, but let me walk you through the 4 different ways to purchase life insurance initially. Then walk them through the 4 scenarios using the script we'll run through next. The script we're about to run through is the 4 scenarios script. It offers clients 4 ways to think about buying life insurance. It is very effective in helping clients perceive that there is at least one scenario that fits their needs. The first way to consider buying life insurance is to buy just enough to pay off your debts in the event of your death. In this case, you are not setting up your family with a plan, but at least they can pay off all the debts. They will be able to pay off the house, the cars, the line of credits, and so on. This way, you don't saddle them with finding money to pay off your debts. That's fair, right? The second way, which is the way many people in your position buy their life insurance initially, is to buy 8 to 10 times their salary. It's not a perfect science, but it's a good rule of thumb when starting an insurance program. The third way is something called capital retention. That's where you buy a lot of insurance, and upon your death, your family invests the money in a safe investment and lives off the interest. For example, let's say I want my family to have $30,000 in income per year. I'll buy $1 million life policy, and then upon my death, my family invests the money in a safe investment, let's say that offers 3%. This means they'll receive $30,000 a year in interest income without having to deplete the capital. That's why they call it capital retention. Your family retains the capital. The fourth way is basically to procrastinate and do nothing. But I don't think you fall into that category. So what I need to know today is which one of the first 3 works best for you. 1, 2, or 3. Following the 4 scenarios conversation, many clients will tell you the second scenario is the way they want to go. There are 2 main reasons for this. The first is because you use the key phrase, most people in your position. It's just human nature to stick to what others do in your group. Most people think to themselves, I'd better go along with the group. The second reason is because the calculation is easy. In their mind, they're thinking, I make $30,000 a year. 30,000 times 10, 30,000 times 10, 30,000 times 10. And most times they have already made up their mind on what they want. Now you have a client that's completely engaged. You are not telling them how much life insurance they need to buy. Instead, they're telling you how much they need. When you stop talking, they'll likely say, "I need $300,000 worth of insurance." At that point, respond by saying, "Okay, let's work with that for now. I didn't bring you in here today to try to sell you anything, so let's go with the $300,000. Since you already have $100,000 with Sands Mutual, we just need to look at an additional $200,000 worth of coverage. Why don't we set up an appointment for the same time tomorrow so we can get this all worked up for you?" You'll want to set the appointment at the same time of day. Usually the same time of day is good every day, based on the person's work schedule, etc. Or if Saturday was their preferred day to meet, say something like, "How about the same time next Saturday?" Now that the second life appointment is set, it's time to end the appointment. As you're walking the client out the door, say something like, "Many people spend somewhere between $20 and $400 a month on their life insurance program. The people who spend a little more are the type of people who want cash accumulation. This will assist them in college funding, early mortgage payoff, or to pay up their life policy, etc. This ensures they're not paying on premiums forever. On the other hand, there are people who like to spend a little less on their life insurance program. These are people who basically just want the coverage with no frills. Now, I have no idea what type of budget you might want me to use, but why don't you give me some idea of what you're willing to spend? That way, when we get back together tomorrow, I'll have you in and out of here in less than a half an hour." Some clients will give you a figure of $20, some will give you a figure of $400, some will give you a figure in between. It doesn't matter what they tell you. Some will look at you and say, "I have no idea." What we're looking for is how motivated are they going to be when they come back into the office. That way, you will have a solid starting point for the negotiation at the point of the life insurance selling appointment. Now you are at the point of sale. The heavy lifting has all been done. You've established the need, and now it's time to offer a product to fill that need. Each agent and each agency has a different way of negotiating with clients, and different policy types require different conversations. For example, selling a term policy is different than selling a permanent policy. At the same time, each client is different, and people respond individually to different things. This program does not dictate how to negotiate the terms of a life insurance contract. The focus of the program is to get you 99% of the way towards a completed sale. You have gathered enough information, and now you have an accurate picture of the client's needs and means. I hope this has given you a solid idea of the steps involved in quickly ramping up your multi-line agency life insurance selling and retention program. The program is engineered to demonstrate immediate success. So the sooner you get started, the sooner you'll see your life sales spike. You will be truly amazed at the results. Good luck.